Welcome
You
everyone
would say
to the land of
bananas.
death. Bananas.
Your mom says bananas every night.
Yes.
All right.
It's an
So
odd thing for her to say every night.
last time
It's
you
her safe word.
guys we are streaming right now.
Ooh.
Okay, so last time the worm Alexander started to look like what he was. I think that's just about what happened. You guys traipsed through the catacombs beneath the city, and
Um, there was more.
d-
So there
go
was
ahead and give us a
also
recap, Prince.
so last week on
The land of death.
anyways, last week we was that the week we went down or we did all the talking and fighting last week, right?
The talking not with Alexander was before that because you did your initial speaking with Alexander 2 weeks ago.
Okay, right. Okay. So there was a little more talking between Prince and Alexander Cohen, while the party went beneath the catacombs to come towards the place where Alexander was, his little glass fortress. They encountered some things, an amalgam, also a knight or like a guardian. It looked like he was like a resurrected old knight of Zelkir. And there was some Full Metal Alchemist horror sort of homunculi sort of undead things going on as well. They dispatched with all of that. There was some dialogue and stuff that I don't remember too well. But what happened up top was that Prince was trying to distract him, and he got it in his head that he was going to take Hestia's soul out. She was now on the ground and no longer floating, and Prince then stood on the table and tried to dance to distract him. It did not catch his attention. So Hestia then attempted to turn him into, I think it was a frog at first, but she failed. And um, he then turned to Prince and yelled at Prince and said something to the effects of, "You're just trying to distract me. You weren't actually into my artwork and I feel betrayed, etc., etc." Then Prince used an ability called Dirge of the Torrensale, which fears everyone in 30 yards, including Hestia. Both of them failed their saves, and both of them, well, Hestia used a hero point to get out of it. But Cohen then starts running away and down the stairs that Prince had not previously seen. Hestia starts running after him while Prince goes to the glass to put a signal so that Jasper could come in to the party. While that's going on, Hestia chases him down the stairs while the party is down below. She then turns him into a worm, and explanations about what has occurred then ensue. After that, Hestia, finally done with her bloodlust, decides to care for her child, and we attempt to get into the Soul Gem and the other compartments where the people that Cohen had stolen to create his arc were being contained. His art. Um, there was a ritual that was done between the party. Prince played some solemn music while the ritual was being done. There was some removing of a barrier, and voila, we save everybody. People are reunited with their loved ones. Gabriel was not there to be reunited with his zombified friend who was outside the building, from which we still need to figure out if he is still under the control of the necromancer or not. And then after that, Prince, while everyone was doing their mea culpas or whatever, was paying attention to Alexander Cohen, now permanently turned into a worm and thoroughly cursed by Dustinane. Prince was thinking that maybe with the right amount of encouragement Alexander Cohen could, at the very least, be aware of his sins, because he did not seem that aware of them in his human form. He seemed completely oblivious to the self-determination of the people that he was imprisoning in souls and artwork. There was a heated conversation between the party about whether or not such a person should have the chance, now that they're helpless, of at least surviving through the night to maybe be held verbally and morally responsible for their sins. There was a conversation that occurred where Prince tried to tell the rest of the party that if we kill him, he is just going to go to Pharasma to be tortured, which I think several of the party members are perfectly fine with. And I think that's basically where we left off. There was a heated conversation about the fate of Alexander Cohen, whether or not we should squish him on the spot, or at least wait a couple days to maybe have cooler minds about what we'd like to do about him, maybe do an inventory of all of the things that he has destroyed to figure out what we can salvage and what we cannot. And that's where we are. I think I did as close to it as I could. Gabriel still needs to be reacquainted with his friend, his dwarf friend. We don't even know the fate of his dwarf friend. He's somewhere outside the glass container. I don't know if Gabriel traveled with them, underneath the catacombs, or if he's outside, or if he just was not with us completely. We can decide that now.
Guess he would have joined us in the catacombs.
Probably. But, I mean, I think there's a real case that he might have stayed outside to maybe, help his friend when he came out. I do think that maybe people are more concerned with their loved ones than murder, but maybe not. I don't know. That's up to them.
That's a good question, Gabriel. Where would you have gone? Would you have followed with Dunsanen and Calistan and Malith to the catacombs, or would you have done something else?
I think I would have gone to the catacombs.
Okay. So then I will say he is with the rest of the party.
Okay. Well, Prince will make the case that your dwarf friend is outside of this building, and you can figure out the fate of him, because we did not last week. We have no idea what's going on with him or how he was affected after all of what we did. So there's that. But I think we did, at the end of last week, at least temporarily come to the conclusion that we'll at least wait a couple of days before we start stomping on the worm. Maybe not. I don't know.
No, we came to the consensus that we're killing this stupid guy.
Is that what we came to the consensus of? I thought we would at least give him a couple of days. We can maybe use him to,
I'm kidding.
use him potentially to bargain with the other baddies that exist. Maybe even get information out of him, potentially. I mean, he is very thoroughly cursed. I do not think that... And he's also kind of not a fighter. He's kind of an artist. I don't think that when he pops out, he's going to be too keen on immediately starting combat with us. So, there's also that.
No, yeah, I mean, at our conversation last time, yeah, I think Prince and Callison are of a very similar mindset when it comes to him. So I have no problem. I mean, this is my character's entire philosophy, so...
I will also say, to Hestia in particular, that I have no intention of just letting Alexander Cohen free. I do not want to just let him go to live his life.
And I already told, well, I already told you I can turn you into a worm too, and I'm not willing to let him be alive. So
Not willing to let him be alive. Not even for a couple of days?
for a couple of days, yes, but not long term.
Okay. And Prince has no intention of keeping him on the mortal plane forever. I mean,
So
I think that's
what's
what
the
he wants to.
problem?
There's no problem.
Okay. Alexander
So,
Cohen cannot just walk around being alive. That's all I care about.
Can
well,
he slither around being alive? Is the real question.
what'd you say?
Can he slither around being alive?
That is
Or
true.
wriggle? Or whatever it is that worms do.
Only if he
So-
changes his ways within the time it takes
He's
for him to learn how
He's
to
allowed to wiggle to the left,
do
but
the
not to the
worm.
right.
Well, Prince will also say, and I meant to say this last time we played, but the conversation that Prince had with Alexander Cohen was enlightening to Prince. Based on his words to Prince, what he told him that, I'll just talk in character. Based on my conversation with him, the feeling I got from why he does what he does, why he uses souls and bodies and such, is because he has a sense of life and beauty where, like, he didn't use the souls because he got a sense of power out of doing it. He used the souls because it made more lifelike exhibits for his artwork. And I would make the point that from what I understand about the gods, they do something very similar. Most When I was in the Elysium fields, when I was in Elysium, a lot of the creatures that exist there are souls of mortals that they have formed into other creatures. I've met several of these creatures, in fact, that were, as far as I understand about how this world works, when somebody dies, their soul, who they are at their core, does not just vanish. It goes through the river of souls into the afterlife, and then it becomes, to some degree, the property of the gods to go to some predetermined place through Pharasma's judgment. And then once they get there, if it's in a place like Abaddon, they are eaten and tortured and potentially destroyed. But if they go to a place like heaven or nirvana, as far as I can tell, what eventually happens to them is they become part of a creation that the gods deem necessary or beautiful. This isn't that dissimilar from what Alexander Cohen is doing himself. And I would say, in fact, the thing that he is most guilty of is hubris. And if we are punishing people, sending them to Pharasma for hubris, I mean, I understand the personal slights that he has against you. I don't know what it's like to live on the material plane and have to worry about my children. I don't suspect that I ever will have children. But I can't see this being particularly different. But I do understand that you would like to punish him for what he's done, and I can't exactly disagree with that. So I think, at least for now, a good punishment might be just to keep him as a worm, and then when the time comes, we can send him to the next life, if that's what we choose.
I wouldn't call it just hubris that made it for his crimes. If it was just hubris, then he could be a leader of something, of anything. But he ruined people's lives. He tore them apart for his own entertainment. That's
Well,
not
don't
just hubris. That's acts. That's terrible acts against an entire country. He basically genocided a country so they could be his dolls.
He
well,
specifically killed people just for his twisted art. I mean,
So
look,
if that's
Prince,
hubris, then I'll turn myself into a worm.
well,
If it's just hubris.
I mean,
I
Prince,
didn't say
I'm
that-
with you on like the fact that we should give everyone a chance to speak for themselves and treat everybody fairly. Everyone can be redeemed. Sure, I would say our philosophies generally align, but I mean, I think you're downplaying his crimes quite a lot.
Well, no, I'm not downplaying his crimes. I'm merely saying that the gods are just as guilty as he is.
Oh,
And
they
Let's
sure
kill
are.
let's kill the gods too. I don't care.
Yes. Okay. See, this is what I've been saying. I'm so glad that you guys are getting on board. Finally, it worked. Okay.
Well,
Where do we
I
start? Okay. You know what? We'll plan for this after we're done with everything in Zalkir.
well, I don't know if I was going as far to say that we should kill all gods or that we even have the power or station to do so. My point rather was that
I tire of these philosophical discussions when we should be doing something. We need to save this land. There are people dying at this moment. Are we going to just talk them to death, or are we going to actually do something?
we should do something, absolutely.
Okay, then please.
What
let's go.
what was Jasper? So the soul gem is obviously filled with many more a person. What Jasper's not able
yes.
to like. He can do it, but at a very slow rate. He can rip people from that, right?
I'd say that he would estimate that. Yeah, I mean, it takes time to unravel the soul from the soul gem, from what he would have told you, and based on his estimation, there's hundreds, if not as many as 1,000 souls within it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we're gonna have
don't
to
want to
come back.
I don't want to continue the conversation anymore.
He can take the soul
but
gem. It's big, but it's not like impossible to take.
I don't want to continue the conversation anymore, but I did want to at least my life, my long life, much longer than everyone's here, did not take place on the material plane. It took place in the place that everyone goes to after this. And I guess my point was that to me, I don't quite understand all the intricacies of and attachments that you guys have towards this place. There's another place. There's a place that is after this one. And that's the one that I'm more acquainted to. So when you say, and I understand the suffering of an entire country being genocided, but from my perspective, it's
Do
like
you?
there's an entire world after this one that you guys are not accounting for when you're making decisions. And that's all I wanted to bring up, that you're basing your entire worldview off of this playground that we're all in right now.
Yes, but that playground is our lives, and maybe you don't understand that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
Okay,
think I do.
Then maybe think that you're not in the right place to make decisions since you don't know the meaning to our lives.
Well, I would say that none of us really know the meaning to our lives. That's getting a bit more philosophical, but I guess what I'm saying is that
Well, I quite know the meaning of my life. Thank you very much.
I just think that if we send him off without thinking about what happens in the afterlife, we're not doing. I don't know. Maybe we should just get rid of him and let the gods sort it out. But I'm a bit tired of the guards sorting out things, if you ask me.
Yeah, me too. Well,
I just want to sort this guy out.
I would like to see what has become of the exhibits that he's made, if it's had any effect or if those spells are just.
Before we
They don't-
get there, I do think we need to check on Gabriel's friend. What was his name, Gabriel? I forget. I'm bad with names, even my
Dagon.
own.
Dagon.
Prince is gonna walk to the swiveling door and press the button to go out and gesture for Gabriel to follow him.
Is everybody
Okay.
leaving the building?
I'm certainly leaving right now. I
We're
guess
taking that soul gem with us.
Okay.
I have Alexander in my hands.
No, 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 no. I have him.
Okay. Okay.
You want to take him here?
Okay. So I'm walking outside of this building to go look for Deegan?
Dagon.
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 Okay.
Is he still out here?
So he wasn't here before when you first
Yeah.
came to the
Yeah, he
building.
was the first one I talked to, remember?
No, he
was-
came to you when you were in the.
Then who was I talking to outside before I walked in
Wait,
to
did
see
he?
Alexander?
Did he talk to you outside?
Yes, somebody did. Somebody besides Alexander Cohen talked to me before I walked in this
Okay,
building.
that is my bad memory. All right, then he was out there. So you come out to see
He might not
Dagon
still be
there.
there.
He was. I mean, before he was obviously a zombie, but obviously preserved. No, sorry, no, not preserved. Sorry, let me back up just a second. So the obvious zombie Dagon, you come out and you see him there, Gabriel, and he looks a little stunned and a little bit uncertain as to what's going on, although the reactions, I was going to say, aren't exactly human, aren't exactly what you would expect from someone who's living. So it definitely seems off, but he seems where before you had gone into, I don't know, just at this point, an hour or two before, when Prince, you had gone in to see Alexander Cohen, he'd been very stately and regal. As much as he was an obvious zombie, he seemed very in control of his circumstances, really standing in as Alexander Cohen. But now, as you look at him, that does not, he doesn't have that same bearing as he stands there. In fact, he very much is, he's sitting down on the ground, he's kind of head cradled in his hands, and he has this dazed look about him. And he looks up and he sees you, and in a very almost monotone voice, he says, Gabriel.
Hey, bud. I'm gonna kneel down, and at this point, we're about the same height with me kneeling and crouching down. This is my short buddy, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
put my hand on his shoulder. Gonna say, "Hey, who am I talking to?"
He looks at you and his eyes move back and forth, and he says, Dagon? It's been so dark. Is this
Here,
real?
yeah, here. I'm going to reach into a little hidden pocket that I have in my clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Take out a little flask. Uh, and I'm gonna open it up and offer it to him, and it's my dwarven ale that I have in there,
Okay.
or
He
sorry, dwarven mead.
he takes it and looks at it very confused and says, to drink?
Yes, to drink.
I don't feel thirsty. I and he looks at it again and then pours it down his throat. And with a look of confusion, he looks at you and says, I can't taste it. I can barely even feel it. What has happened to me? Am I? And he trails off.
I'm going to put the flask away.
And real quick, just so that you know, and
Yeah.
this has been the case every time that he's approached you in the past before you guys attacked Cohen. Your
Mhm.
amulet is vibrating as you're close to him.
Okay. It is okay.
So he didn't suddenly become not a zombie.
Okay. Good tell him, hey, it's okay. You're here now, right? It's not as dark as it was before.
You. What did you do to him? The one who was controlling me.
Uh, so it's a little. I'm gonna raise up my pinky and wiggle it a little bit. Uh, it's a worm.
He's gonna look at you in confusion.
I know. You know what? That one's on me. That is pretty confusing. That one's on me. But here, can you stand up? Uh,
Yes.
yeah.
And
Here, let me help you.
he stands up a little. Not necessarily shaky, but just a little bit wobbly and uncertain. But he stands up.
Okay.
Is he here?
He's nearby.
I could always
Let's see.
hear him speaking to me, telling me what to do, and I couldn't say no.
I it's not your fault. It's not your fault. I need you to understand that.
Can
Say it
I?
with me. It's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
Yeah.
Can I see him?
Um, I'm gonna look at the rest of the party. I'm gonna look at
Who all is out
like,
there? Is it just you two?
I came out there. I don't know if anyone else
Okay.
followed, but I do have him in my hands. So I will. Out of curiosity,
Yeah.
if someone squishes a worm and they are a transmogrified person, when do they demorph
Their
when
hit
they die?
points, no, their hit points do not, or their hit points stay the same. You would know this. Actually, go ahead and give me a spellcraft check or a knowledge arcana check, and let's see if you know this before I say anything.
Sorry, I didn't.
You're good.
You mean knowledge arcana? Okay. I have a pretty decent knowledge
Yeah.
arcana, so
So you would know that this spell in particular, or similar spells, will not be undone by damage, nor will, but also that the actual strength of life that someone has, their hit points, is not affected by the transformation. So you would not, it would take more than just squishing this worm to kill Alexander, but by the same token, it would also take a lot more than just squishing him to bring him out of it. It would take an actual disenchantment or dispel magic or another what's it called? Another polymorph type of effect to bring
okay.
him out of
So
this.
I don't have to worry about like a spell contingency going off if he decides to squish him or something.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So Prince will lean down and open up this. I think it's lead that he gave me, lead hats or
Yes.
something, and I would open it up and show it to him, and inside, hopefully, is a worm.
To my knowledge, there's a worm there.
Okay, to my okay, good.
Calistan, you're the only person who I can ask that might have done something there. I believe you said last time you didn't. Is that correct still?
Wait, that I left?
No, that you didn't sleight
no.
of hand the worm out of that.
Yeah, the worm is still in the hat.
Oh yeah, the lead hat. Yeah.
Okay. So he sees the worm, And he looks at both of you and says, "May I?" He's been in my head for so long. It would feel cathartic to hold him in my hand.
Absolutely. Prince will stick his hand in there.
Hold on. I am going
Oh.
to roll sense motive.
Okay, go ahead.
It'll load here. There it is.
You know, actually, Prince is gonna hand the hat to Gabriel to do this, and you
Yeah,
get to
that's fine.
decide.
Okay, 32.
He seems weirdly forward about this.
You've got the hat, Gabriel. It's up to you.
Okay. With that sense motive, can I ask him one question?
Go ahead.
Uh, Before I hand him over, I need to make sure you are Dagon and you're not under his control at this moment. Confirm that with me.
Dagon looks at you confused and says, "Gabriel, you've known me for how long? And you don't trust me? You don't know me?"
Do I need to re-roll a sense motive on that, or can I keep the same one?
I mean, you've got the information that you're getting.
Okay. All right. Here you go, bud. Feel free to squish him. I mean, you're not gonna kill him just by squishing him, but yeah.
He picks up the worm and he holds him in his hand. And as he looks down at him, he says, "How does it feel to be to me what I always was to you?" And then he looks up, and as he looks behind both of you towards the glass building, a look of shock enters his eyes.
What is it?
"Who is that?" Dagon says.
Who is who?
Give me a perception check. Both of you.
I'm not taking my eyes off Dagon.
Oh, are you out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another 32.
Okay, so I did ask before who else was out there. Nobody said they were out there except for these two.
Well, Calliston could have walked out by now. I think
Well,
everyone's just kinda chilling.
I would
Sorry,
like
I
to
thought
know.
we were all together.
Okay, no, we are gonna roll for that because that will impact things.
I hope you're out here.
All right. Let me decide on a proper percent. I don't know why I'm asking you, but Parley, high or low?
Hi.
Oh, this is gonna be hilarious if it's low. It's never low.
Okay. So I gave it a 70% chance that because I had no response before, 70% chance that you guys aren't out there. It was close. So, Parley, I will say that you are on your way out. You will not be able to react immediately, but you are watching as this happens. As you exit the building, you see both Prince and Gabriel turn behind them to see what Dagon is looking at as Dagon turns and bolts.
I cannot
Oh.
believe that you guys fell for that. That's why I said I keep my eyes on him. You guys actually fell for that, like, kindergartner. Wait, look over there. You guys actually fell for the look over there, like 5-year-old trick. I cannot believe that.
Okay, now I can turn my
Okay,
camera on. I did not want to give anything away in that. Okay.
Okay, I am going to tackle him down because he can only
You're gonna
move
run. He is doing
20 feet.
a full withdraw. Oh, dwarf.
Okay, well, this
He
is
can
what.
only move
Everybody
20
roll
feet per
initiative.
turn.
Everybody
Okay,
roll
yes,
initiative.
that's the smart thing to do. That is definitely the smart thing to do.
Ah man.
Oh. Okay. So he sprints and gets as far as he possibly can. Charlemagne is in the next batch to come out. He wasn't able to fit in with you, Calistan. That is why he got an at one.
His shoulders are too broad.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are just too. You both
So,
lift way too much
The
to
real
both fit.
question here is: this mind control or is this Stockholm syndrome?
Um, let's see.
I think he's running away to kill him.
Oh,
So a run
be
action,
that.
he gets to go in a straight line 4 times his movement. So I'm just gonna do this number wise, and then if you guys catch up to him and have actions left, then you can do something. He is 80 feet away. Parley, you are
Okay,
up
do you guys
first.
yell or anything?
You are in with the others inside the building still. These three are out. You are coming out next. So yeah, do you guys yell to indicate that something's off?
If it's my turn, I'm not doing it.
It's
I
not
probably
your turn.
wouldn't do it yet.
It's not your turn. Do actually yeah, no, that's right. So he's 80 feet away. Parley, it is your turn. You see him just start running as you come out.
Seeing his stubby little dwarven legs, I'll just start running after him,
'Kay.
knowing that he does not have the numbers advantage in this.
Do you do a actually yeah, do you do just a full sprint?
Yeah.
Okay, you are going to be able to catch up to him because of that. And actually, at this point, with if you're able to get in range, I'm going to. Do you mind if I speak for you for a second?
Sure.
I assume you're able to get in range to trip him with an attack of opportunity when he goes.
Okay.
Fair statement.
Yeah.
Okay, you trip him. Initiative order is over, unless Prince. Did you want to do anything before he goes? Because it's Cal, you, then the dwarf.
I was just going to haste if I had time, so that whoever was coming after me could do it.
Okay, well you don't go until after Caliston is already practically caught up and is in striking distance with the whip.
Okay.
So would you still haste?
Probably not. I'll just run after them to catch up.
All right, so I'm gonna assume you trip him. You've got him in a place where he's not getting away.
Does anybody make a sound to show that there's any problem or anything? Anybody at all?
I doubt you'd be able to hear us. I mean, that you're in a hermetically sealed glass building.
That is correct.
Like, I had to use prestidigitation and press a button to even get a message out.
Okay.
It's kind of a fortress.
I'm just gonna we're dropping the combat again. What do you guys do? You have Dagon.
Prince will say out loud, what the hell was that about?
Don't be a fool. Drop the worm.
Come on, buddy. Like you said, how long have we known each other? You know you can't run faster than me. You've got better endurance than I do. You're maybe stronger than I am, but you're not faster.
You can see a
You know that.
defiance. I'm gonna go off your previous sense motive check, Gabriel. You can see a defiance in his eyes that makes it very clear to you that it is not Dagon you're speaking to.
Oh, wow.
And you wasted my mead. That was special mead. I was saving that. You have no appreciation for art and creation if you just wasted a beautiful meat like that.
On the
Shame on you.
contrary, Dagon
Oh,
says, it is you who do not appreciate the artwork that Zelkir is becoming.
Oh God.
It is not artwork, it is an abomination. Just like you piece of shit. Let go of my friend, or the consequences are going to be much worse for you in
I
this life or the next.
I would like to do some combination of knowledge check slash spellcraft check slash detect magic, whatever I think,
Yeah,
whatever
go
will
ahead.
do it, to figure out what exactly is going on, what spell in particular. Should I do detect magic and spellcraft or a knowledge
Yes,
check?
please.
All right, detect magic, and I will do a spellcraft. 23 on spellcraft.
Okay. This one I was actually pretty happy to find it because it was not one, it was just one that I was having him do, and then I found out there's a real spell for it. So he is under the effect of the Flesh Puppet spell, which effectively allows, and it seems to be a modified version of the Flesh Puppet spell, but it's a spell that is allowing someone else, as long as they are close, to be able to direct and control the zombie.
So it's
In fact,
over.
as you look, you can actually see the as you look close, having used detect, you can see a small ephemeral string connecting the zombie to the worm.
And it is not. I'm looking at it. It is not. It's not verbal, so I can't do anything
And
about it.
even then, the spell itself, you can tell that there's some modification that has been done to the spell as you've understood it, or as you've
Mhm.
heard of it before. So this isn't necessarily your typical flesh puppet anyway. There's some
So
things that
I'm
probably
gonna.
give Cohen a bit more control.
I'm going to take the top part of the hat. I'm going to turn away so Deegan can't see me do this, and I'm going to put the lead of the hat back. Actually, I don't have the worm yet. I'm gonna take the worm from him.
Can you
Is he
make a
like gripping
perception
it?
check? Oh, I guess, yeah, no, I already told you he was touching the worm. Yes, he is very carefully holding the worm.
I probably don't have the strength check for it. You know what? Calistan, would you mind taking the worm from this zombie?
I mean, he's not going to, like, squish it as you try and pull it from him. You can tell
Yeah,
he's
I
doing
know,
his
but
best
I have a
not to
8
hurt it.
strength.
Oh.
No one might. You guys could send a message to me through your brains.
I mean, you would have been able to see that they're no longer outside the front. You could at least see that
Okay.
much
Can I at
from the
least run
inside.
towards them?
Yeah, we can assume that everyone's together now. Actually, question. Did you do anything to ensure that you would be able to get back inside?
Yes, I left the door open.
There is no door to keep open. It is a thing that opens and then closes
Yes, I
based
left
on
the
the.
button. I did.
well, my wife is still in there,
Okay,
so
she
she
is.
can open it
Okay,
again for us.
that is fine. I just want to see if there's someone in there, because otherwise, you have the underground passage you could go back through, but you
Okay.
guys don't know of another way to get inside other than someone inside letting you in, or the catacombs.
Okay, well, if his wife's still in there, that's fine, I
And
think.
I'll
Well,
say
I don't
Jasper's
know.
in there too. I will say Jasper is
Okay,
in there too.
because I was like, if this dude's still under control, how much control does he have? Okay.
This is why I wanted to kill him.
Yeah, but we can still control him, I think.
Oh my
But
god.
anyways,
Are you serious?
I don't
Gabriel,
think
take the
Uh,
worm back if you don't mind.
here's what I will say. Give me a perception check, Prince.
okay. We don't even know if killing him will end any of this shit stuff. There are contingencies, there are mind swap. Well, I don't know that
Why
as a
don't we
character.
find out?
With a 24 perception, You pay careful attention now that you notice the first string connecting the worm to Dagon. You do not
Mhm.
see any others coming
Okay.
off of the thing. And you do know that it is range based. So at least with that, he has to be close enough to it.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'll just put him in the hat and I'll walk back to the glass building. There we go. And let you guys have the conversation. See if Deacon comes back. Or if he was ever there when you were talking to him to begin with.
Okay. So what is it you did? You brought Cohen.
We got the worm and I put him back in these hats.
Okay.
And Jasper has him, right?
No, I'm walking him back to the building. I'm probably going to talk to Jasper about spells. But Jasper's not here, so I can't, which sucks.
You do know that if you destroy the string, it would end the spell as well.
How do I destroy the string?
It can be damaged.
Okay,
Now that
then I'll
you
just do that. Now that I know that, I'll just destroy the string.
I guess technically, yeah. Either way, yes. So
Okay.
I'm going to cast a spell of True Seeing on Prince.
True seeing?
Yes.
Okay.
okay.
What are you looking for?
I like that because I realized that your perception check wasn't actually high enough to see the string. Now that I
Oh,
double check, but with True Seeing you could.
okay, cool.
So yeah,
Then I'll kill it.
there we
Then
go.
I'm going to take the hat and I'm going to cut the string.
Well, the yeah. So you guys are able to cut the string with using True Seeing to see it. All right. As that happens, Dagon just goes blank faced and is completely immobile. He appears to be utterly mindless.
Buddy. Buddy, I'm gonna see if he's still undead or
Can I do a check on his soul and see if it's still there?
Give me a
Oh,
perception
that is
check.
a great question. It might be in the soul gem. Or somewhere else.
Give me a perception check, Hestia.
Okay. Okay, there you go.
Okay. It's hard for you to tell. He looks, at least to you, Hestia, he looks like a typical mindless zombie.
So he's still not talking at all?
That is correct.
Oh boy.
Okay. Then
Did we find his soul
I'm
in the
going to
soul
talk
gem?
to Gabriel. Gabriel, would you like me to make it so your friend can't come back alive as a zombie?
Wait.
how so? What do you mean?
I have a spell where it makes it so people can't come back as undead.
We might still be able to save him.
I'm not saying to do it now. I'm just asking in the event of that happening.
It's a little late for that.
Yeah.
He's already back as a zombie.
The question is if we can restore his soul like the rest of everybody here. His soul could either be in the soul gem or it could be in one of the other things. I would have no idea how to find it. Unless someone has a way of locating souls. I have no idea how to do any of this.
Can I at least find his soul in order to speak to it?
I would like that.
What way do you normally have to?
I have speak with undead.
Okay, so you can cast Speak with Dead on him.
Okay.
Well, I can do that too.
Let me double check something on that.
I think we would just be talking to the corpse, though. Actually, no. I think it does pull the soul back. I don't. I'm gonna be quiet.
It's my job. I know how to do it.
You do know that the corpses or the answers that you get are limited to what the person knew in life.
That's okay. How many questions do we have?
You will have 5.
If I cast it, we can get 6, and our alignments won't matter. I've got a feat called Ghost Whisperer, and it says that I'm considered. The cast level is increased by 2, which gives me another one, and you treat the alignment as identical to the dead creature. My alignment will be identical. I guess all of our alignments, whatever question we asked, should. And we also get a +2 bonus on bluff, diplomacy, intimidate, and sense motive when we speak.
Right, you do it.
Okay. I will cast Speak with Dead,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna assume that it's 6 because
Yep,
I
it's
had-
6.
Okay. I'm also considered the same alignment.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
The face of Dagon animates a little bit more. What you ask?
Without saying a question, I should have done this beforehand. I'm saying this out of character. I should have done this beforehand.
I think you guys
but
have done this
want
the
to
last
make
time.
A bluff check to just look at the other people as like, come on. Oh wow.
I think we can say that you at least predetermined some of the questions that you're going to ask. I'm okay with that.
So I'm
You
gonna
guys
need
have
help
you
here
guys did
because
this the last time. You cast the spell and they're like, "Huh, what do we want to ask?" I don't know what
Okay.
you want to ask.
Okay. So I'll keep one question for myself, but you guys have at it. 5 questions.
Hey, buddy. Hey, bud. Oh, sorry. Is my microphone working now?
Yep.
Yes, yes.
That's not a
Okay.
question, so I'm not answering it.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. You know that was not a game, right?
What was the hey bud?
No, the microphone question.
Hey, bud was a question, yes.
Oh, no, hey, bud was not a question. Hey, bud. Good to talk to you again. I have to respect your wishes here. So we're going to ask you a few questions, and then you won't be here with us anymore. Do you want me to bring you back?
Golly, you're gonna have to. You start with a hard one for me as the DM to answer.
What's that?
You start with a hard one for me as the DM to answer.
Yeah. Do you think I was gonna ask like, "Hey, what was your last meal?" No, I'm not gonna ask a question like that.
Could have given him some
Not- not-
softball questions at least.
You could,
Gabriel,
you
come
could
on.
warm me up.
What's the color of your underwear? No.
Well, you could ask
Okay,
him.
we can,
Okay.
we can talk
Anyway,
at that one.
do-
I have an easy one.
can you save that one for the end? Because
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
I would appreciate that. I would very much
I'll throw
appreciate
you
that
a
as the
low
DM.
ball one. I'll throw a low ball one.
And it doesn't have to be low balls. It's just that one is like the most contextual question.
How did
No,
you die?
that's fair.
Okay, you asked him how did he die?
Yes.
After the fall of Melkar, I was hunted down and killed by the necromancer. He announced his name as he killed me, Alexander Cohen.
Okay. Anyone else want to do low ball questions?
So out out of a game, uh, after the fall of what again?
Melkar, the capital.
Okay.
Any confusion that happens between Melkar, the capital of Zelkir, and Kyle's other character, Melkor, is Kyle's fault because Melkar was determined as the name of the capital well before we started the other campaign.
Okay. All right. And Tegan, I have a purpose here on this plane, as I know you know that. We talked about me figuring out what my purpose is when we were bunking together. Well, it turns out that I believe that dragon. Uh okay, out of game real quick. What's the dragon's name again, guys?
Zelakar. Unless you want the
Malakar?
name in Draconic. Do you want the name in Draconic or Common?
Draconic.
Jelechar.
Jelahar.
Jelechar.
Jelahar.
Obviously, you do
dragon.
not speak Draconic. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jelahar is supposed to help us cleanse this land of the evil undead. I saw him. I saw him underground, chained in a dream. This is a continuous question, just all one question.
There's been no question yet.
No, the following is.
Oh, okay. Well, based on what
Do
you
you-
say and how you say it, go ahead.
Okay. Where, how, no. Where and why is the dragon chained and captive and able to be freed?
I know very little of the dragon beyond the myths of this land. Sorry, I know nothing of the dragon beyond the myths of this land, is what he would say.
I mean, I suppose that's fair. But it is worth a shot asking you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Go
ask
ahead.
I'm trying to find the best way to word it without getting gimped. Um Where does the necromancer keep the rest of his souls?
I do not know.
Okay. I didn't want to waste questions by trying to figure out if he did.
That's a good way to do it.
Do you know where your soul is being kept?
I do not know.
Alright, that's 4.
Remember that he only, well, 4 if you're counting the question we're saving for last. Keep in mind, and most of you would know this, the spell is restricted to he's restricted to answer what he knew when he was alive.
Yeah, I know he was hunted down, but I don't know what that entailed, so he might
Sure.
have saw something.
Sure. That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, Calistan, do you have any?
Do you say that loud enough for Dagon to hear it?
No.
Do I have any what?
No, Talistan.
Okay, from now on, any question I'm assuming is loud enough for him to hear.
Okay. If you have a question, raise your hand. Do not say your question out loud. you raise your hand.
How about this? I'll speak in statements.
The spell really works like that.
Yes, it
Yes.
It's not
does.
just that's
Yes.
moronic. I can't just address somebody else. That's
No,
stupid.
stop.
This is out of
Okay.
game. This isn't
I-
my character in game complaining about an arcane spell.
Fine.
It's complaining about the
Fine. I'll take
mechanics of
that.
it
I'll
out of
take
game.
that.
Obviously, I'm not gonna say this in person.
Okay.
Speak in statements, Prince.
Okay. If someone has a question that they would like to ask, they should do it. Anyone.
Hey,
A question I do not have.
I am wondering about the Dwarven Kingdom. And anybody else that wonders about the Dwarven Kingdom should raise their hand to indicate so.
I don't
Okay,
care about
out of game.
Dwarf.
Dagon raises.
Anybody raise
Dagon
their
raises his hand. Just kidding. I'm just.
Okay, so how about this?
Can we ask
I
him
guess
if he
this is
wants to be
similar-
brought back to life yet?
I'm
What?
saving. I'll let you know when there's one question left, and then.
Okay.
Or there are 3 questions left. If you're saving that for one of them, then you have 2 other questions.
So the first question was, and this is out of character.
From
whether
this
or not you
point,
wanted to
any
be brought-
question that is asked, I am assuming is spoken out
Okay.
loud.
Okay,
guys
okay,
didn't
okay, fine.
Plan your questions
fine.
before you started asking, so we're going.
Okay.
3 questions remaining total.
Are there any loved ones that you have that Alexander Cohen has taken that you would like us to pay attention to?
No.
I'm just gonna blow the last one before the one that you guys are gonna ask because I can't think of anything. Mm, mm. I actually don't know much about him to understand what he would actually know.
Gabriel, are you going to step in and ask the questions to your backstory character?
Yeah,
You're
yes,
just
I
letting
will.
you are just letting Kyle go at it. Just like-
What are the most important things you want to tell us right now?
my oath to Zelkier is unfulfilled, and there are things that I have left to do in my fight.
You're free to elaborate.
Well, that's like the first question you asked. That's kind of the answer to it. And you can use that last question that you asked to make him elaborate that.
The spell specifies answers are brief, cryptic, or repetitive, especially if the creature would have opposed you in life. But brief, cryptic, and repetitive is raw. So I'm not just being a hard ass.
At least we know he wants to be resurrected. Well, we don't know that. We know he could do things if he were. We only have one question, and it is queued up if you want to do that. Unless you want to ask something different, Gabriel.
Oh, geez. My microphone has been weird. I am going to use that last question. Yeah, I'm gonna use that last question that we have queued up.
Ask it.
There is a possibility that, well, before I ask this question, I want you to know that your part of your oath was fulfilled. I I helped save the queen from an assassination attempt, and you know, I I do think that you would have done the exact same thing I did at that moment. So this is my final question. There is a possibility that we might be able to bring you back. Do you want us to bring you back, or do you want me to help fulfill your oath for you?
There's a moment of hesitation, and for a second, Gabriel, as you look at him in the eyes, you see a flash of familiarity of Dagon in there. And as his eyes meet yours, he says, "Yes." And then his eyes go dark, and he resumes his catatonic state.
And so be it, my friend. Hestia? Hestia, are
Yes.
you there?
Yes, I am.
If I'm going to bring him back, what do I need?
You need a person who can cast a resurrection spell.
And what do they need for the resurrection spell? Do they need his whole body? Do they need just part of him? Do they need do you know what's necessary?
I can cast gentle repose onto him, and his body won't decay. I'm honestly, I don't remember. DM, will you help me out?
One moment, actually. So you are not able to cast Raise Dead. Let me double check. You would know that Raise Dead itself does not work on undead or someone who's been turned into undead. Resurrection, which is higher level, can, however, as long as they are no longer undead.
Okay.
Would we know if Cohen could cast such a spell? Is he a strong enough wizard to, or whatever he is, to be able to do something like that?
You don't know.
Oof. All right. Prince is gonna look inside the hat, and he's going to talk to the worm. If you can resurrect people, I want you to give 3 wiggles to the right. Does it move? If not, I have something planned.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm trying to decide.
While I'm waiting on a wiggle, Prince is going to like lean over to Calistan. How good are you at intimidating things?
I can intimidate him pretty
Make
well.
a scary face if need be. I would assume that would be more your forte. I have a
It-
+10.
It actually isn't. Not yet, anyways. You have a better intimidate check than I do. You guys have not seen me intimidate anyone.
Want me to give her a shot?
We'll see what he
He
wiggles
gives you
first.
3 wiggles to the right.
Oh. Oh. Well, I am going to say, are you telling me the truth? And oratory sense motive on the worm. I've got a 42. Does the worm look
There is
earnest?
you have 0 ways of telling if he's telling the truth.
Oh, no. Don't.
No,
We're
like
not
how
gonna
are
use
you
him.
going to sense motive a worm?
I
What
told
We're
you
visual
not going to
cues?
use him even if he was telling the truth. We will not use him.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not?
A tool is a tool.
Okay, Alexander Cohen, if you come back to life, please take this guy out first. Because just.
Wait, what are we using him for?
I didn't say
Nothing,
we were using him for anything. I'm saying if he could cast resurrection, it's possible that we could
Why
force
even
him
ask
to bring.
him? Why even ask him?
I mean, I would want to have my friend brought back to life.
Yes,
I
but
think.
there are other people in the whole world.
Are there?
Yes.
Okay. Can I do like a knowledge intelligence check on what I know about Zelkir? You know, actually, better yet.
On if there's other people in the world?
Well, no, I have a better way of doing it. I am going to cast Ears of the City on myself, and I am going to do diplomacy checks to. It's as if I had spent 1d4 hours talking to local people, and it's the whole town. I don't know. Does it go to all Dezelki or just this town? What does it
Wait,
say?
he
This
said
town.
yes, he can cast resurrection? No, he can't. He's a worm.
I mean, in his life, could he do it? But
Oh.
I'm going to see if there's anyone else. I want to do that with. It doesn't say. It just says conversations related to local people and events. I'm just going
Local.
to see if there's any rumors of
Emphasis on
anyone
local.
powerful enough to cast. What is resurrection? Like a 7th level spell?
I think so, yeah.
Knowledge
game,
So that's like level
Arcana.
Yes.
14.
Knowledge Arcana would give you Knowledge Arcana or knowledge religion would give you that information.
Well, not who can cast it. I want to know if there's anyone in.
You
If
did
there's
the
any rumors of anyone powerful enough in Zelkir to cast an 8th level shaman spell, or not just resurrection, just resurrection.
Okay. So
I'm
using
at 8
Ears
level.
of the City,
I'm at 8th level yet.
you
No,
are
that's only-
you are a 10th level shaman, but
No,
you
that's
can only
level
cast up to
17.
5th level spells.
That's another 6 levels or so. We are way far off. Maybe not even being able to
No,
get
not
to that
6
level
levels.
on,
It's
in the campaign.
I think 7th level spell. 8th level spells for her will be level 15 as a pure shaman.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a long time away.
So you with your give me your did you get your check out of the way? There are oh sorry, I guess yeah, make your check.
I can do oratory for that. Will
Make
that
your
work?
diplomacy sure, go for it.
Because I am talking as though I'm talking to them. So wow.
With a nat
Okay.
20, I'll allow it either way. The rumors that you're able to gather from this, and this is based on the knowledge of those here in this part of the city, or in this city specifically, so you're not getting every city. There is honestly not enough understanding of magic for someone of low level to differentiate between what a mid-level spell would require versus a high-level spell.
Okay.
And so that is what you would deduce from all this is there are certainly rumors and discussions of powerful wizards and sorcerers and clerics within the country that people have heard about. There are places they can go if they need a curse removed, even, or healing of some sort, or removal of a disease or poison. But as far as what you can tell, people's understanding in general of magic is not such that you can just know, here is who I could talk to for a 7th level or 8th level spell.
Okay. With that being said, I think our choices are we can find a safe place to put his corpse and continually cast gentle repose on him, or we can like resurrection is. Can I do a knowledge arcana to know what resurrection is, or do I just know it?
All save us time. I mean, just to know what level
I know
spell
what it
is.
is. I know what it is out of
Yes.
character. Okay.
But you're asking if Prince can know approximately how strong it is.
Would I know how much it would cost?
Yeah. I mean, you know enough about the requirements for it that yes,
Okay.
you would be able to do that.
So we have the materials to cast. Wait, appraise check on the diamond orb we have. Is that worth?
You had it
10,000?
before. That diamond is probably approximately 20,000 gold.
So we have enough material right now. If we knew someone who could cast the spell to bring back 2 people. So we already have the materials we need. The question is whether or not we can find somebody who can actually do it. Now, there could be somebody in this hat that could do it. Now, I don't know
Or
how
maybe
that
you could ask one of your gods.
Everyone
God,
get your
they're not
licks
gonna
in
help.
on this perfectly smooth, round crystalline sphere. I know some of you want to. Everyone
that
get your
again.
licks in.
Which
Get your
crystal
licks
sphere?
in on this perfectly round, giant crystalline sphere that is perfectly smooth all around. Everybody get your licks in.
You're talking
Why
about
are
the
we
orb?
looking at?
Wait. Okay. So the green stone in Jumanji that's like perfectly smooth and like shiny. None of you ever had like a need to lick that thing when they saw it. Telling me that?
Well, now I do.
You guys, okay,
That's
thank you.
weird.
See, you guys that don't want to lick it are in the minority.
Bro,
When
I'm
will lick
brown. I am the minority.
a perfectly smooth stone like that, like that's just, oh, how could you not want to lick that? Not saying it'll
Okay.
taste good. I just want the feeling of it.
Doesn't have to
Okay,
be-
you know what? You guys just are. You guys are weird. Go ahead.
Look, I'll be
We- we-
honest. There's about 5 things in life that I'm compelled to lick, and smooth, round. Well, I take that back. There are
Please
smooth,
don't
round
finish that
objects I like to lick.
sentence.
Yes, like lollipops, for example.
Yes, lollipops.
See, and this is the same principle. It's just flavorless, but it's the feeling of it on your tongue, though. Why am I bothering explaining this to you? You people are weird.
Mouth feel. He's
Okay.
explaining mouth
Uh,
feel. to us.
So we do not have to bring Dagon back right now. So I am going to take the braid, one braid from his hair, and one braid from his beard to
And I
keep
can
with
cast
me.
gentle repose onto him.
Wait, do we need the body for resurrection?
I don't know, but it
You
doesn't
need
hurt.
You need some small portion
Yeah.
of the body.
just clip his hair,
So we just need a piece of hair then, right?
Maybe a finger,
an eyeball.
his nose.
Oh, it just has to have a part of the body at the time of death. And I'm assuming something on this corpse. All right, the hair will probably do.
Eyeball.
Ew, why an eyeball?
Both eyeballs.
Also, keep in
You know-
mind,
Yeah.
and you would know this, Prince,
Mhm.
that he cannot still be undead when you cast it. He has to have been
Oh,
destroyed
so we're gonna
first.
have to destroy the body.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
stop him from being undead.
I propose that we have a funeral for a little Dagon here.
Wait. So do we need to extract the body part when he's fully dead, or can we take that body part now and then
We
Can
can
I
do it now.
offer a suggestion because some people aren't here right now?
Mhm.
Sure.
You should certainly have the people who are most familiar with undead inspect him first before you
Okay.
do anything rash like destroy the
Burn the
body.
body.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's keep him intact for now. We can plan a funeral for him later.
yeah, yes, yes.
Yes.
Unless, of course, you were going to try the worm route.
I don't think people here are amenable to that, at least at the moment.
No, we're not going to use that worm. That worm is lying.
Well,
Uh,
even if he is lying, we can strap him to a chair or put him in a glass box or something
I
and
thought you didn't want to
interrogate him.
torture him.
That was before I knew like that he could potentially bring people back from the dead. I mean, what
Okay.
better way to repent than to undo the thing that he's done? If
He's
that
not going
requires
to do
torture,
that. He's not going to repent. His fate will be horrible. Have you ever put a lightning bug in a jar? That is what we're going to do with him. Oh, look, I just so happen to have a little mason jar with tiny little holes poked through that he cannot slip through. I suggest we put him in this.
I actually completely 100% agree with you. But one of
Yeah.
our party members said that he might be able to cast spells. No, do
He
something.
just did. He just did to Dagon.
He didn't cast a spell. That was a spell that was already cast. That was a permanent spell that just got reactivated by being close to it. He didn't actually. That wasn't a
But
spell.
there's
that
a
he had
lot of
cast.
people who he could even still control. He did an entire continent. Or people, land, whatever it is. How many people are like that other than Dagon?
Crap. Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
Okay.
We should kill him now.
Uh,
I highly. I don't know. I don't think that he's cast that on too many people. I don't even know if you can cast it on more than like a certain amount of. I did a knowledge check on that spell earlier. Would I know that there is an HD limit on it?
I
Or
mean,
would
you
I know
you
that
for which spell?
for the flesh puppet that there's a certain amount of there's an HD limit
Regardless,
on the amount?
Hestia cast True Seeing on you, and you examined for additional strings, and you saw none.
Okay, so I know for certain that he is not doing this to anyone else.
Give me
Right
one
now.
moment. I need to confirm something.
Okay. Whoops, that was scary.
Alrighty. I need to check one other thing.
What if I give Dagon Breath of Life? It restores life to recently slain creatures.
It will not work on him.
Okay.
He's been dead for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he said that he wanted to come back to life.
Well, he said he had an oath that he had unfulfilled. I think he just said yes to a complicated question.
So maybe he's okay with fulfilling an oath, and we could let him be dead.
Oh, we don't know what the oath is. I mean, we could wait. I don't know. I think there's a time period between casting of Speak with the Dead.
I could reincarnate him, and it brings a dead subject back into a random body.
Because he's been undead, that's not going to work. I believe. Let me double check.
It's provided that its death occurred no more than 1 week before the casting of the spell.
That is
and
definitely not
subject
the
soul is
case.
free.
That's okay.
Alright.
You know, in a way, I kind of did fulfill his oath already by protecting the queen.
So I think it's okay to let him. It's normal.
Yeah, your boy is
Everybody
good.
dies.
Okay, who here is nicely familiar with the rules of undead in
I am
Pathfinder?
Sorry.
Out of game knowledge.
Not out of game. Sorry.
Out of game, kind of. I'm fairly familiar.
If you create undead, what do you need to do to cause them to move? I know if you cast the spell Control Undead, that you have to speak to
Oh,
them.
I know this one.
You do? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Undead are compelled by like base desires, so you have to actually exert control over them through like some sort of command undead or control undead. Usually when you make them, they come pre-controlled for I think 7 days or a day. I think it's your caster level or
No,
something.
they are pre-controlled up until your hit dice limit.
Yes. And then they are just mindless and want to eat flesh. That's generally how they work. They're mindless flesh eating things. So unfortunately Dagon should probably be trying to eat our flesh right now if he is not being controlled. But
Unless he is an undead that was given a specific command. And that's the thing, is you can give them commands for when they are no longer in your control, but I don't believe you have to keep that you lose control over undead.
I think you do.
They become
I think you do.
thralls effectively when you create them. Okay, I'm just gonna have
I
to
was
make
gonna
a.
do it on Melkor. So
I
I looked up this.
Yeah, you're good. I might
Okay,
just have to make a ruling. Give me a moment.
There's no reason to even res this guy right now, honestly. I mean,
There we go. Okay.
there's not a huge reason to be
Okay.
100% real.
Well, I
You know,
mean,
Vegas is my friend, and you know what? I agree with Cal. There are
okay.
much more important things. We can bring him back later. If we have learned anything in our time together, is that there are powers over life and death.
Okay. Well, how about
And
this?
Right, and sorry, go ahead.
You
We'll
asked
decide.
your this is going to interrupt. You asked your wriggle question if he was able to resurrect.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do after you got the wriggles?
Oh, I put the hat back on
Okay.
top of him.
Okay. The ground around you all begins to shake.
Uh-oh.
put him in the jar. Put him in the jar. Here's the jar.
I don't think this is him. I think this is we need to run, actually. We need to get
Put
everyone
him in the jar before we run. We don't want to drop him.
Okay, put
Where's
him
the
in
crystal? Did I have to put it down?
I mean, someone has a bag of holding. I think it's fair to say that it's probably inside a bag of holding, if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think Jasper
Yeah.
has one, doesn't he?
Yeah, Jasper has
that
one.
makes sense for him to have
Okay.
one, or have it anyways.
And I mean, that will
And I-
fit
and-
in a bag of holding easily.
And I absolutely don't mean any disrespect, by the way, saying that about Dagon, but we just have very limited resources, and this would only be used in case, like probably one of us dies or something like that. Like, this is an emergency resource. It's not to say that Dagon doesn't deserve to be resurrected. It's just, later when we have the time and the resources and that. But I absolutely don't want this to be
Priorities.
misconstrued whatsoever. It's terrible what happened. And what happened to him?
I need
I mean,
everyone to
I
roll
agree with you.
initiative. I hate to interrupt this conversation, but something is interrupting this conversation, and it is technically within my control, but it is out of my control.
Okay, so I think we should get everyone out of that building.
The ground erupts as a large claw made up of bone and bone erupts from the ground and beelines to you guys.
Oh boy.
What beelines towards us?
A
Sorry?
large. Have any of you played Half-Life 1?
No.
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 Okay, let me put a picture so this can be clear.
We're gonna have polygons.
Prince, what is your AC?
Oh yikes.
You guys just kept standing there talking after I told you this thing was starting.
19.
So, Yeah, okay, this is gonna hit.
I am running.
After we'll see. We'll see if you are mobile enough. So imagine like this, but made of bone.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
So it's spindly. Okay, I'll take my attack of opportunity.
This is taking you by surprise, so it is gonna get its hit first. Then
How is it taking us by surprise with how loud it
it
is?
erupts from the ground and then strikes Prince. I don't know why I rolled that. Prince, you take 21 points of damage as this thing just carves right into your side. You can tell immediately that it is trying to get the hats or the jar out of your hands. It is trying to knock that out of your hands or just cut your hands off.
Oh, this was gonna happen regardless. Okay.
May I cast Wall of Flame?
We
Yes.
should probably roll
Well, yeah, everyone
initiative.
roll initiative and then we can go.
Ooh, look at that initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. Gabriel, you are up. In various points around you, 3 of these things have erupted, surrounding you. Not blocking you, but surrounding you.
Okay.
So
And
there are.
was I able to tell that they're going after the worm?
They went after Prince, and he's the one who's got the worm.
Okay, then I am going to grab the jar. I mean, I did just pass him the jar like a little bit ago.
Yeah,
So
I
he's
think
got,
it's safe to assume he's got the jar.
yeah, and we're right next to each other. So
Yep.
as I just gave it to him. So I'm gonna grab the jar, and I'm going to fly back,
Okay, go
like
ahead
up and away.
and yeah, give me a fly check, and we're gonna see how well you are able to control. Because this is gonna be your first time taking flight with your wings,
Yeah.
and I will have a penalty for that as well.
Oh man.
And then, Prince, you are on deck.
All
All right, you grab the jar, and then as you flap your wings, as you said, you are very close to everybody else. So you unfurl them and try to hurl yourself back, and your wings catch on everybody. Make a strength check, Gabriel.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh,
Everybody make a reflex save to not be tripped.
I'm sorry.
Gabriel gets up and he makes the biggest, most crazy attempt at I will
Oh god.
get back. Hestia, you are the only one who is able to retain your feet. Everybody else is tripped to the ground as Gabriel just lashes out with his wings, trying to fly away, and ends up just in some way, shape, or form pushing over everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you do the roll for me? Because I'm not a
Oh,
computer
yes.
or fantasy ground.
Yes, I will roll for you.
Okay, so can I act at all, or is it not my turn?
Malith, you are also on the ground. Let's see, what were the initiative rolls? Prince, you are next. You are on the ground.
Okay, it takes an action to stand
It'll
up.
take a move action to stand up.
I will. Wait, do I want to stand up? I'm gonna stand up. Everyone's around me, so
Yes.
that is a bad idea. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to do.
These things do
How
not appear
tall are
close
these?
enough to strike at you as you stand up.
Out of curiosity,
Yeah,
are they? How tall are they out of the ground?
probably 20 or 30 feet out of the ground.
God, yikes. That's gonna take me a couple rounds. Mm, 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 mm. Who is in 30 feet of me?
Everybody.
Uh,
I'm the only one
Um,
standing though.
well, I just stood up. There is not a whole lot that can really happen here because, you know what? I think I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I am going
You've
to.
got like
Is this
3 seconds
everybody?
before we move on from your turn. Okay,
Okay.
now go.
Okay, fine. I am going to do spiraling ascent. That's what I will do.
Okay. That is the one
Um,
that does the whirlwind that pushes you upwards.
Yes.
Okay. And are other people
And
able
this
to get
one's
on it too?
who?
Are other people able to utilize it as well, or are you the only one who can?
It can, yes, other people can utilize it, but it takes a move action to
Yep.
do it. But the first round that I do it, I can go 15 feet into the air.
Okay.
And then it will continue to go 15 feet high until it hits a ceiling, which
Do
I'm
you
guessing
still have the jar?
I thought Gabriel had it.
That's right. Gabriel has it.
Yes,
Okay.
Gabriel has it.
All right, Prince. Let's see. Gabriel, give me your AC as well.
AC is 23.
Wow. Okay. So, Prince, one of them swipes at you in the air, and you can tell that the edges are nearly bladed, like it's sharpened bone to the point where it's like a knife edge almost. And this thing takes a swipe at you, and it connects as you're going upwards. And you take another 20 points of damage. The other two strike down at all of you that are on the ground. Thankfully, though, and actually, Maleth, I'll have to check what your AC is. 14. Okay. Maleth, you end up taking 10 damage, and the others of you, as these bone claws come downward, you're able to move just enough to the side that you weren't hit by them. So Gabriel, Caliston, and also Charlemagne, you move to the side just enough and are not hit by these, although it digs into the ground right next to you. All right, Hestia, you are up.
I'm going to cast. You said Gabriel's holding it.
Gabriel is holding it. Yes,
And he's flying.
he's on the ground.
Oh, he's on the ground?
Yes, he failed his fly check by a lot, and then got a very strong strength check. So he, took everyone down.
Gabriel, hand him to me, and I will dispose of him. They want.
That's not going to change anything.
Why do you think the worm's here?
The worm's here because it doesn't have a master anymore.
If there's one
I'm
thing I
just
want,
gonna.
He's not controlling anything. He's not doing anything.
Okay.
It's just trying to get him. And it would take you way too long to actually kill him. You'd have to stomp on him for like 6 rounds. Sorry, that's out of character, but
I mean, you could coup de grace him.
yeah.
yes.
He's helpless to you
But
guys.
it's still not going to change anything. We're still going to be fighting a worm.
At least then I don't have to worry about it getting Alexander freaking Cohen.
Even if it did, it can't dispel him from being a worm. Like, he's...
I didn't say dispel him. I was just gonna kill him.
Yes, we can... Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
We're-
so
It's probably the
Hestia,
worms
there's
that
no more
GX, if
conversation on
anything.
that. Hestia asks you, Gabriel, to get it to her.
Yes, and I do so.
Okay,
Okay.
All right, Hestia. that was a move action. What do you do?
I cast Wall of Flames.
If you are okay with it, I will just count it that you pretty much engulf the inside of the jar with the
Yes.
smallest wall of fire you've ever done.
Yes.
Okay. Let me double check.
Or I guess if I could just coup de grace him.
You
like,
can't, that's a
You would
full
have to
round
open
action.
it up and do a full round action.
Yeah, I'll just do the wall of flames then. Easy.
Okay, let me double check how much damage that does each round.
It's gonna take a few rounds. We should be fighting the giant worm thing that's
2d
still
fire.
going to kill us while you're doing
It's gonna
this.
be I'm gonna do 2d6. I'm gonna do the passing through it damage the whole time. So go ahead and roll your 2d6 plus 10 for this
Alright.
round. Okay, who's next? That would be Charlemagne and then Calistan.
I'm relying on you, Calistan. We might die.
16.
Okay, noted.
Charlemagne stands up and attacks.
So he attacks one of the large things.
Yes.
It is out of range of him right now. It's about 20 feet away. So he'll have to move to it.
Then he gets up and moves to it.
Okay. All right. He's right next to one of them. Nomad, your turn. And then after this, Prince or Gabriel, it is back to you. Do you do the same, Nomad?
Am I 20 feet away from him?
Yes, you can go either to the same one or to one of the other two.
Alright, I stand up. Then I will swift cast a Channel Vigor. And then... Hold on.
You're good. Gabriel,
Oh,
what are you
spell
going to do
does.
while he's checking on his thing? What are you doing, Gabriel?
I am going to fly
Okay,
and
give me a
take out
fly
my
check.
bow. So
Give me a
Hmm.
fly check. Okay, much better. This time you push off and you've got a much better handle on how strong your wings are. And you're able to take off, actually utilizing the updraft of the ability that, or the ascent spell
wall of
that
flame?
Prince, yeah, no, the wind that Prince created. You're able to get a good height on there.
okay, perfect. Then I am going to shoot it with my bow.
You're shooting at one of the bone creatures.
Yeah.
Okay, you do
32 to hit.
hit. Yes, that is a hit. All right, give me
Then
damage. And Calistan, are you moving close to it as well? I don't know if
I
you still
turn it
have
over.
your...
I cast Sacred Weapon and Channel Vigor.
Okay. All right, so you're still right with the group.
Yeah.
Prince, what are you doing? Go ahead and roll damage for me, Gabriel.
So it's plus 3.
Yeah, just tell me what the total is when you're done. Right, Prince.
So
Clock's a ticking.
as a
Oh,
as
actually,
a-
Maleth, we skipped you. What are you doing? I had you as a different color.
Well, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I fell asleep for much of this session. I don't really know what's going on right now.
You're
there's
good.
a big
You are.
scary thing that you need to kill.
There are 3
Okay.
giant claws made of bone, and then there's Alexander in a jar of fire.
Okay, so I think I have some fire snakes left, so I will try to use a fire snake on the things.
Okay,
When in doubt, set it for fire.
that is not a bad policy to have. So at 50 feet per level, I will say you are able to have it hit 2 of them. I will do damage for you.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Prince, what are you doing?
I'm gonna use my move action to continue flying up another 15 feet. I'm just using the move action to maintain the dance, and it rises 15 feet per round.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Okay. I am going to do I'm going to use a free action to dance of 23 steps, which is going to give me AC.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that. I'm not going to attack it. And that should give me 3 AC, putting me at a 4 AC. Wait, 4 AC,
Okay. You get an
which will
AC
put me.
boost. What else? Or
Yes.
is that your turn? And
No.
then
I am also going to um I it's hard to do stuff with people around me. Jesus. I am going to You know what? I'm just going to Blazing Rondo. There we go. Whoever is within 60 feet of me is hasted. And they
okay,
get an AC bonus on top of it.
that is very fortuitous because as you do that, all three of the claw bone creatures strike at Hestia, one after the other in quick succession, and one of them, Hestia, just narrowly misses taking off a body part. Likely.
I
It
need to
comes
get away
very,
from this thing.
very close to killing or to getting a critical hit.
So I have one missing body
Oh,
part.
no, you
No.
don't.
Okay.
Okay, you
I was
take
right. It is after Alexander.
24. Let's see. Okay. You take 42 points of damage, Hestia. It is now your turn. Go ahead and roll damage for your wall of fire.
Okay.
So another 2d6 plus 10. And you can right click the d6 and do 2. You don't have to roll 2 separately. And then tell me what you do on your turn.
You said right click
Yeah.
the D6 and add 2.
Just roll 2. There's a 2x. Yep, just like
I
that.
see.
Okay, so
So
another 18 damage.
And I'm gonna run away.
Okay.
Take
Or
a 5 step.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a step towards my
you could
allies
do
so
a
it can.
you could do a full withdraw. They are not close to you. They don't appear to
Okay.
be able to react with an attack of opportunity based on what you're doing.
Okay. So what exactly attacked me? It was spikes.
Oh no, so there's the 3 giant claw things like what I put in the chat, and they all just struck down at you.
Oh
with-
yeah. I'm gonna do a full withdraw
Okay.
and try and just kill Alexander Cohen.
Okay, so you run away with the jar. Okay.
I've got a jar.
After
of
you,
jar.
Maleth, it is your turn again. What would you do? I believe at this point you've used 2 of your fire snakes.
Yeah,
I think you
Gosh,
have
I'm not
one
even sure what-
more if you wanted to use that again.
I guess so, because I don't have Fantasy Grounds up to see
You're
what my
good.
other options are, and I know what that one does, so we'll go with it.
Yeah, okay. Oh wow, that was what's your DC? That was a lot. Okay. One of the claws, the one that Maleth you've hit twice, and also Gabriel you hit with one of your arrows, as the second fire snake hits it, it crumples apart and just the space in between all the bones kind of holding everything together, just bone dust falls from it and the entire thing collapses. The other one looks heavily damaged, and then the last one next to Charlemagne is looking unfazed so far. It hasn't been attacked yet. Okay. Charlemagne, and then Nomad. What do you do? Okay, those are both
Either
hits.
of those hit?
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take a 5-foot step.
Hits. Okay. And with a crack of your whip, the third one that hadn't yet been damaged is, I presume you and Charlemagne are both hitting that one?
Yeah, the one that's undamaged.
Yeah. So with a crack of your whip, you lash into that thing and leaving just chunks of bone missing, that it falls apart into a pile of bone and dust on the ground. Gabriel, it is your turn. Unless I skipped someone.
That was Charlemagne and Calliston.
Yes.
Okay, full round attack. Does a 23 hit for the first one?
Yes, it does. And your
Okay, that's
that damage will kill it. So the last of the three collapses.
okay. So they're all gone now.
They are all gone. As they stop moving, let's see. What are you going to do, Hesty? Are you just going to run, keeping the wall of fire inside the jar?
I am watching to see if the worm things are following me, if they react at all.
They don't react yet, though they haven't had time, and as they drop, you feel the ground around you begin to shake. What would you do? Would you just keep running with the wall of fire?
I have stone
Inside?
shape, so I guess I would fortify it around me with stone to keep myself safe
Okay,
while I.
so you create a dome around you of stone, and the rest of you see out near where Hestia ran to. The ground erupts after a little bit with more similar things that begin just barraging the stone around her. And after about, I'd say probably about 20 or so seconds, Hestia, the sound outside ceases.
Okay.
And you hear something crumble, and you feel the ground shake just slightly and almost groan. And then all is silent. Parts of the dome above you have been fractured and damaged, and bits of light are coming through. Without too much issue, you or your companions would be able to push or break out the stone.
Okay. And Alexander Cohen is still alive, correct?
As your spell fades, or would you keep the wall of fire going? Actually, no. It lasts for 1 round per level. So after you, well, no, concentration plus 1 round per level. Would you have held on to the spell, or would you keep it going?
I think. Let me think. I'm going to do a mind message with. Let's see. With Gabriel. If like just do ascending. Is it okay if I go into another chat with him?
So you could cast at this point. I guess you could probably cast message, the cantrip, and just talk to him. Do you want to do that elsewhere or here with everybody
Yes.
else? Okay, go ahead. I'll drop you both into the waiting area. Gabriel, you hear
Thank
her
you.
speak to you. All right, we're just about done. Sorry, I did not plan that tonight, but
Out of character, I have a sneaky suspicion that all of the undead that he has created are all going to become mindless killing machines if he dies. I didn't think about this before, but I am scared that we are about to be surrounded by uncontrolled undead.
Well, what can you do?
What can you do? We could keep him alive so he doesn't. So we aren't
It's too
overrun.
late. The person who has him now, this is the worst case scenario.
Yes, I know. And I don't think they're gonna think about it. I think they're just going to.
Yes, I highly doubt they're gonna think about it.
I mean, you'll find out when she'll find out when she gets back if she looks at it. But there isn't a worm in there anymore.
Oh boy.
There's a tiny little man inside.
There is maybe a little bit of ash.
Yeah, this is bad. I
Bless
didn't
you.
think of. I didn't think about. Sorry, I didn't even think that about you guys hearing me, Bert. But I
Thank
also
you.
didn't think about the fact that he created a whole bunch of undead. I knew that the dwarf was outside and that he potentially was like going to be just mindless, but I didn't think that I had to have, because I had a conversation with him about it. I was like, where are all the practice things that you used to get to this level? And he's like, oh, they're don't worry about it. God, there's probably an entire catacomb filled with undead that are now just.
Well, I think
So just
those
so you
may have
know,
just been corpses
the
he was
the
saving for
undead
later.
the undead you create remain under your control indefinitely when you have them from animate or create undead. So they don't just automatically over time become mindless, hungry undead. And when you set them free, and this is stuff that Prince would probably understand enough, or at the least Sin would be able to tell you for sure.
What happens
When
if you
they're
die, though?
when they're released, they
Okay.
can what's it called? Okay, let me pull
I
Gabriel back.
continue
All right,
to cast
yeah.
Wall of Flame on Alexander Cohen.
You what?
I continue to cast Wall
Okay.
of Flame on Alexander Cohen.
Yep. How long
as
do you keep it
Gabriel
going?
covers me with his wings.
How? Well, I mean, there's nothing else going on at this point. There is no more sound around you.
Okay. So
We still do that.
Okay. How long?
until he's dead.
How are you knowing that he's dead? You are holding a jar of fire.
Well, until the worm disappears.
Okay, yeah. The worms stopped a little bit ago. They stopped before you guys jumped to the other chat.
Okay. And I
Or
cast
the
another
creatures
spell
stopped.
called what is it? Rest Eternal. The dead creature cannot be revived.
Okay. You are able to see a small line of char inside the jar, and you cast that on it and effectively seal. And actually, as you cast it, you're able to see kind of a glimmer of the soul as it's leaving the pile of ash. It's not really a body anymore, but you pretty much wall that soul off from being able to return.
I sigh of relief. It is done.
Good.
Is it? Is it done?
Yeah, it's done. It's done.
Okay.
You did it. Zelkir's destroyed. I mean, you guys saved it.
If we can't have Zelkir, they can't either.
Okay.
I'll accept that. I'll accept a nuclear ending
All right.
over
Well, I
Pietro
think
victory any day.
that is where we will end it. But I will say, on a serious note, the city or the country of Zelkir is now swarming with undead.
Yeah. I didn't.
Wait,
It has been swarming with undead for months, Kyle.
Yes, I know, but they were like not killing anybody, and they were controlled. And I don't know how many of them are sentient and how many of them are like being controlled by a necromancer.
I
And if
will
that
I will cut
necromancer,
to the chase before we end the stream. Insofar as the things um the things controlled by Alexander are concerned,
they're done.
there is nothing that is changing in all of Zelkir as a result of what happened here.
Okay.
Sorry, let me specify. The act of him dying has no impact on any of the undead that are throughout Zelkir.
Okay. Well, that's good.
There are definitely things in Zelkir that are now different because he's dead,
Okay.
but there is no
Well, that's
immediate
good.
impact based on the undead. None of the
So we're
undead
not
in the
about to be
city,
swarmed by a bunch of undead.
none of the undead in the city do anything different.
Okay. That's good.
All right. I'm gonna end the stream there, and we will pick up not next week probably, but some later week. So thank you to all of our viewers, and thank you everybody else.